To the Prime Minister, e tautoko ana ia I ngā kōrero me ngā mahi katoa a tōna kāwanatanga.
Yes, and especially our action to pass fast track yesterday. And I saw last night that one very brave Green MP acknowledged he's been listening at question time, saying in the House the Prime Minister wants to tell us that we should be supporting fast track because of the renewable energy projects, because of the housing projects, and I couldn't be more pleased that my message is finally cutting through to some Green Party MPs. And it's not too late, because fast track might now be the law. Thank you, David Parker, for the inspiration. But there's still just so much more growth and development to come. And so once again, and not for the last time, I call on all those Green MPs who actually care about climate change to back the projects, back the economy, back renewable energy and housing for working New Zealanders, because we need to grow this joint.
Does the Prime Minister stand by his statement that, quote, we've set ambitious goals for ourselves, end quote, and if so, can he please outline for the House what exactly is ambitious about his government's goals to decrease emissions and persistent child poverty by just 1%?
Well, I'll just say on the point about emissions, I'm very proud that our emissions reduction plan 2, delivered by an excellent climate change minister, who is actually managing to deliver net zero 6 years earlier and keep our economy growing. Well done, and I'm very, very proud of that. We're on track to deliver net carbon zero 2050, as we've committed to doing. The means may be different by which the Green Party might wish to do it, but we don't want to total our economy. We actually want to make sure we grow our economy. We want to make sure we get things built in this country. We want to support low and middle income working New Zealanders.
Can the Prime Minister confirm that his government has cut services for vulnerable children and whānau, increased benefit sanctions by 133% and cut 9,000 jobs from the public sector, with 1,500 more to go at Health New Zealand, while setting aside $2.9 billion in tax cuts for landlords in just this year alone?
Well, I'll pick one of those things, which is that I am very proud of the obligations that we have put around the unemployment job seeker benefit, and that is entirely appropriate. We want to have a safety net. We want to support people when they need help, and that is funded by your fellow citizens and fellow taxpayers. But there are also obligations. Meet with your case manager, put a resume together, and show up for the job interviews.
Is there a job for every New Zealander who is currently unemployed and on the job seeker benefit?
We are working hard to make sure we get people off welfare and into work. But what we're not going to do is what the last Labor Greens government did, which is low unemployment at 3.2% and yet 70,000 more people on the job seeker benefit. We think there's a better pathway for people, which is a life of work. And that's why we're doing everything we can to get the economy growing, to support low and middle income working New Zealanders, and to make sure we get people off welfare and into work, which is great for them and their families.
What is a better...
Just wait for a minute. There's a lot of noise from both sides of the House. It doesn't need to be there.
What is a better use of public funds? $3 billion in tax cuts for property speculators, or funding essential services that all New Zealanders rely on?
Well, what's not acceptable is increasing spending by 84%, borrowing more, taxing more, spending more, hiring more, and on every account, delivering worse outcomes under a Labor Green government. That's what we saw the last 6 years. We're not doing that. We're making sure there's maximum value for money, that we are getting resources moved from the back office to the front line, and we're investing for growth.
Why?
Supplementary, the Honourable David Seymour.
Did the government cut taxes for landlords, or simply restore the very consistent and sensible tax policy that was the case for the first 4 years of the Labor Green government?
I am proud of what we have done to make sure that we stabilise rents for renters. Isn't it interesting, since this government came to office, average rents have not increased. They went up $180 per week. That causes huge pain and suffering on working New Zealanders. This is a government, by restoring interest deductibility, a legitimate business expense, by removing the bright line back to 2 years and ensuring we get the balance right between tenants and landlords, has ensured that we actually have rental stability in this country.
Prime Minister, supplementary, Mr. Speaker.
A point of order, the Honourable Kieran McAnulty.
Thank you very much, sir. Just for the clarity of the House, if a minister makes an incorrect statement today, when are they expected to correct that? By the end of today's sitting, or will they have to correct it on the first sitting day back next year?
Well, it's the first opportunity that where the House is sitting, first opportunity after they know that they were able to confirm that there has been a mistake in something they've said.
Thank you.
Chloe Swarbrick.
He Pātai Tāpiri, supplementary, Mr Speaker. Can the Prime Minister confirm that since coming to office, rents have increased at double the rate of average CPI inflation?
Labor and Greens quoted that number at me last week, and I just would say to you that since we came to power, our rents have been stable. If you take the full year, which is including the period of a Labor Greens government, rents are up, as you have talked about. But you've taken an annual number rather than the number from when we came to office. That's what we measure ourselves against.